Alright, so in this video I'm going to show you what I do to prepare my YouTube videos as far as basically doing the editing to get the kind of final product that will be uploaded to YouTube. From there I do a little bit more, but this is basically just the editing process. I'm not a super video editor, I have no training in this, but this is sort of what I've figured out. I basically use Camtasia to do this, and what I'll do is I'll start off by taking my video files and I will drop them in, and then I will also take my audio file. I record my audio separately, so I have this deliberate practice audio, and then I have this little spinny logo thing that is in all my videos. And the first thing I'll do is I'll lay down my audio track, and then I'm going to try and sync these up. So I'm going to start with my first video track, and in this one I know I had multiple cuts, so I've got this kind of weird part here. You can see where it matches up. It first syncs up over here. And this is kind of neat because I captured like background audio with my digital camera and my microphone. I can kind of sync this up visually. So I'll go through here and try to find it and then zoom all the way in as much as I can. Let me find this part here. Okay, so we're going to zoom all the way in here. And then I can basically just drag this till it looks like it's lined up. Then I'll listen to it and make sure there's no echo at all. It should sound like one voice.
Hey, John Simon from
So there's a little bit of an echo there. So I'll tweak it either forwards or backwards.
simpleprogrammer.com. So I got this question.
That sounds pretty good. I don't hear any echo.
Hey, John Simon from simpleprogrammer.com.
Okay, so that should be good. So now I'm going to go ahead and edit the audio, and I'm just going to silence the video track, right? Because I want the actual track from my mic, and then I'll usually back it up to right about where the video starts and then cut everything else. Now to cut quickly, if I hit Control Shift and then home, I'm going to highlight all that, and then I'm going to hit Control X, and then I'm going to hit home to go back to the beginning. First click on the track, and so I'm right at the beginning of the track. Then I'll lay down a transition. I typically just drop a fade in there, and then I'll start going through here.
Hey, John Simon from simpleprogrammer.com. So I got this question.
And what I'm looking for is the point where I can break the audio. Usually when I'm recording, I set up a little pause spot so I can put in my little spinny logo.
But it's not quite waffled. It's just I haven't made
So it looks like it's probably here.
like most things in life.
Okay, so yeah, so I paused. I purposely did that. So now I'm actually holding the shift button and then dragging on the timeline on this arrow, and it actually pulls apart both tracks and spaces them out. So as long as I'm holding shift. So I'm going to zoom out a little. Of course, to zoom out and zoom in, I'm holding control and then using the middle mouse. If I don't hold control and I hold shift instead, then I move on the timeline. Just little quick Camtasia hacks here. I do so many of these that I forget when I'm doing them, and people are like, wow, how are you doing that? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and line this up, hold down shift. I'm dragging this over. Go to my clip bin, I'm going to drop this inside here. Then I'm going to hold down shift and drag this. Oh, sometimes it doesn't work, but I'll drag this right over. Then I need a couple of transitions, so let's throw some fades up on here. And then we'll just make sure this sounds okay
in life.
Okay, that looks all right. I'll skip ahead to here.
So the question is basically whether or not there's some value in deliberate practice.
So now at this point, I'll either watch through here. I usually don't edit much out because, to be honest, I usually do a pretty good take on the first take. So I'll skip around a bit. I might listen through the whole thing and then add some text or some call outs and stuff, depending on how ambitious I'm feeling.
A good parallel
probably is good to add stuff as much. I know a lot of good YouTubers do all that, but I typically don't have time for it. So I have an opportunity there to do more of that. But in this case, you can see here that I've got some chunks where I just left the audio running. So what I need to do is add my second video in here and figure out where this lines up. And you can tell visually. So this is probably me cursing here because the camera shut off. So we'll just definitely edit that out. But let's go ahead and line up this audio as well.
I'm not totally sold on that, but
wow,
anyway.
I did pretty good. It sounds like it's right on. So, okay. So now I usually just double take whatever I said when the camera stops. So
I'm not totally sold on that.
I'm looking for I'm not totally sold on that, which I'll probably say like right here.
But anyway, the idea is.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that was definitely not the curse. I must have said I'm totally sold on that here.
Hours of practice type of thing. I'm not totally.
Okay, so right about here. So now I can just drag this red while I'm holding shift to highlight all this. And I'm going to take it right up to this other piece of audio, hit Control X to get rid of it, and then let's see how this sounds.
Practice type of thing. I'm not totally sold on that.
Okay, that's not bad. All right, so then basically at this point I'd go through the rest of this.
In general has a
I'm
lot
not
of
going to go through it all here.
That is kind of a one track.
And I'd edit out a few things possibly, usually not much at all, and then add in some transitions, call outs, things like that, just to enhance the video. But that's pretty much it. So then last thing I do is I go to the end of the video here.
You share the video, give it later.
And then right about here, I'll go ahead and cut off the end of this, and I'll throw my little spinny logo thing onto there again, which goes right here. So then we need one transition. And that's pretty much it. At this point, I can go through and produce this. I can either directly upload it to YouTube, but lately I've just been doing kind of batch production. So I can either do produce and share, and then just do each one manually. And I always do 1080. So usually custom production setting, or high quality YouTube is a custom production thing that I've created that makes just the highest quality video. It trades off as a very high file size. The other thing that I can do is sometimes I'll just save all the projects, and then especially if I'm doing like 6 or 7 videos, I'll go to tools, I'll go to sharing, and then batch production, and then I'll add a bunch of different project files at one time while I go to sleep or something like that, or take a break, and let that run, and I'll set them all to that production. But that's it. That's how the sausage is made for my YouTube videos, at least on the editing side. Of course, there's process involved in the recording side, and then once it gets up to YouTube, it needs to be tagged and basically put on the blog and all of that. But this is the main editing part of it.